Today is day 2 of our Too Tired to Cook 5-day, I guess I'll call it a challenge. And yesterday we were made a beautiful soup. I had so much soup last night. I think I made it my dinner. I had soup, and we talked about getting your jars. If you have your canning or mason jars, I think depending on where you live, you might call it something different. And we also, what did we talk? We made our soup, and we talked about the fact that why are we here? And it gave you a little bit of homework to look into mason jars if you don't already have them, and also to reflect on where do you want to go? Where are you today on your health journey, and where do you want to go? And I hope that you enjoyed the time. And Gloria, yay, you made the soup yesterday. Woohoo! I am so excited. And you said it turned out really good. And it's easy to make, right? That's the whole point. Lots of nutrition and easy to make. Did you have any stumbling blocks, or it was all good? All right. And I think, Gloria, you have mason jars already, right? You said you use mason jars, right? We're going to use them again today because today we are doing a mason jar. Yeah, okay. I have so many, I have to store some in the garage. I don't have enough room in the house, but sometimes I go into that. I use a lot. But anyway, they're great for actually also storing things in your pantry. If you didn't know, you can like putting nuts and things in. And if you're storing your nuts in a mason jar, put them in the fridge or the freezer. Do not leave them out because they go rancid. But anyway, we digress. So today we're going to talk about nutrition today. Yesterday we talked about why we're here, and we're going to talk about the nutrition side today, dig into that a little bit, and why we have low energy and what can we do about that. And we talked about that a little yesterday, but I'm going to dig a little deeper today into what you can do. And we'll also look at what are our habits today, and maybe some of the things we can reflect on, some changes that we can make. And I have a little quiz for you, and we're going to make our rainbow salad and in a mason jar, so you can have grab and go, easy to make salad. You can take with you wherever you are going. If you are going to work, you can take it out of the fridge, grab and go. If you're at the end of the day and it's, oh, I'm too tired to cook, you can grab it out of the fridge and just dump it. So that is what's in store for today. So welcome, welcome. And let's dig in. I'm just going to share my screen, and we'll go through a little brief introduction to nutrition. So let me share my screen for you. So you can see my screen here. All good? Just gonna make you guys small.
Yes, I can see it all. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Gloria. All right, so this is our little bit on nutrition strategies. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because I'm here to keep it simple for you. So let's dig in. So I want to start by being here, by enjoying some of the stuff. This is one of my favorite quotes, and I'm sure some of you have heard it before, but a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. And that quote really means a lot to me, because when I started because I had been at a business conference. I was not feeling great. I knew I had some issues, health issues starting to creep in. And I happened to be at a business conference where they were talking about the vicious cycle of sugar and sugar addiction. And I had no idea that I was a sugar addict, but I found out at that conference I was. And I knew that sugar was not good for me. I wasn't stupid about that. I did know, but I didn't know exactly what it was doing to my body. And once I realized that it was what it was doing for my mood swings, my hormones, all of this stuff, I realized I needed to do something about it. And so I started on a journey by just realizing that I needed to break my sugar addiction. I started on a journey, and that was 11 and a half years ago. And here I am today. I would have never, ever thought or dreamed that I'd be here talking to you, having community with some amazing women, because, hey, we all want to feel better. And so it's not about making big changes, but it's just starting on the journey. And I'm encouraging you this week to find one step that you want to take on your journey. And yesterday we talked about what would our magic wand moment be if we could wave a magic wand and have the health of our dreams, the life of our dreams. What would that look like if our health was and our wellness was great? We had all the energy that we needed. We're 10 out of 10 on energy. What would that look like? And so just one step, that's all we're asking for. And so my journey actually began because I had weight gain, fatigue, headaches, and other concerns. And I had mood swings and just feeling like burnout. I was busy being busy, and I was always tired. And I actually almost wore my fatigue and my haggard look like a badge of honor because I was busy and I was doing a lot. I was superwoman, but I didn't look like superwoman. That's for sure. And I didn't feel like superwoman. And I think that a lot of women go through that. And so, what I want to go through here, this was my epiphany. If you think of your body as a house, okay, so think of your body like a house. When you start out and you got your new house, it's beautiful, the windows are clean, everything is spotless, there's no clutter, it's just painted. That's where you want to be, a brand new house, all the furniture is beautiful. Over time, you need to look after your house, and the same thing with our body. And we don't always know. I thought I was healthy. I thought I was eating healthy, but I had no idea that I was actually not. And I was not doing all the housekeeping that I should be doing. And if we're not housekeeping, eventually we end up with a house that looks like this one here in the middle. Hopefully not that bad. It can get that bad if you just don't take care of it at all. But and so you start to, in our body, we start to have inflammation. That's what happens when we're not taking care of our body. So our body, we have a 24-hour kind of cycle. And during the day, our body is using energy to keep us going, digestion, and everything we're doing in the day as we're awake. At night is when our body has the time to do that repair, clean the house, make sure everything is ready for the next day. If you have 8 hours to clean the house and you can get it all done. But if you, let's say you eat late, now your body's going to spend time digesting when it should be resting. And you end up with, you can't get to everything. So maybe the kitchen table doesn't get cleaned off. And when that kind of stuff happens in our body, that's where we end up getting inflammation. And I would relate inflammation to a smoldering fire. It's not causing any problems. It's just there, a little bit warm, but we can manage it. And then what happens if we still don't take care of that? We end up with a 5 alarm blaze, and the whole house goes up in flames. And so for our body, this is when we end up with diseases like cancer, diabetes, heart disease. All of that comes from that smoldering fire, all that inflammation going into a fire because we haven't looked after all the maintenance on a regular basis. And our body only has so much time every day to do the maintenance. And so the more that we eat properly, we have time to digest, we give our body the nutrients so it can properly clean everything. It's the same thing. If you go into a house with a pail of water and you didn't bring any soap, then it's going to be harder to clean everything properly. So our nutrients are giving us the cleaning materials. It's giving us all of the building blocks we need to keep our house clean. And if we're not getting all those nutrients in, then we're getting, our house becomes decrepit, it starts looking rather tired, and eventually becomes this 5 alarm blaze. But here is the best news. Our body is amazing at what is cellular regeneration. If we change and we start giving our body the nutrients that it needs, we're going to become like a phoenix rising from the ashes, and we can rebuild our body. Now, it takes time to do that, and it can take anywhere from 3 months to 2 years, depending on what you're rebuilding. If your whole house burnt down, let's say you have cancer and your whole house burnt down, then to rebuild that house is going to take you a couple of years. If you were already in a good place and you just had a little bit of mess here and there, a little bit of smoldering fires, then maybe it's only 3 months. But we can actually regenerate. And that is the beauty and why we're here, because we can reverse chronic disease if we give our body the nutrients that it needs. Now, I have a little quiz for you now. I'm going to try and see if I can do this. I'm going to stop sharing and I could see. All right. So, Gloria, we all think that we're eating healthy, but there's always room for improvement. Yes, you are so right. There always is room for improvement. And the other thing I want to say, and this is why I got the quiz here today, is sometimes we think we know what's healthy for us, but maybe it's not as healthy as we think. One of my top 3, I'm calling it my public enemies for health, is misguided information on nutrition that's out there. There is a lot of information that's actually not true. And so I have this quiz, and I want you to follow along. It's actually a game that we could play and load up, but I'm going to play it. I'm going to host it here, but we're not going to do all of because you can play it with I'm going to share my screen. You can play this quiz online with your phones and you can answer it, but we've just got a couple people here, so we're just going to play it, and you can play along. If you would like to put the answers in the chat, you can do that. If you don't want to do that, that's fine too. You can just think about the answers, and we're going to go through this quiz and we'll see what you think. So let me share this quiz with you. All right. There goes my dog. Can you see my screen? I'm going to put this. Oh. All right. Are we ready? Let's get going with this quiz. Okay. I'm going to start. It wants players. Oh, hang on. Doesn't like that. Let me just. All right, I'm going to do play solo. That's what I'm going to do. Can you see it now? You guys see it?
Yes, we can.
Great. Thanks, Gloria. All right. We're going to do it on practice mode. All right. So the first question is, which of the following foods has more potassium than a banana? An avocado, sweet potato, spinach, or all of the above? What do you think the answer is? I don't know if anybody wants to answer. I'm just going to try and split my screen so I can see everything. All right.
Maybe all of the above.
Yeah, you are right. All of the
Yeah.
above. And I just wanted to point that one out because we all think about bananas having a lot of potassium. Um, and that's one of the things, and that's true. We don't really think about these other foods having a lot of potassium. So that's good. Our next question. Come on. Oh, I need to answer. Woo! Okay, which fast food item contains more sugar than a glazed donut? Which fast food item contains more sugar than a glazed donut? Is it a large flavored coffee drink, a Caesar salad with dressing, a fruit smoothie from a restaurant chain, or all of the above? Da, 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 da. All right. So we all know that a sugar donut has a lot, but here's the deal. It actually is all of the above. So there's a lot of, yeah. So before we get to this one, I think I just wanted to highlight that there's a lot of places that have hidden sugars and a lot of sugar in them, especially those drinks from the coffee bars and things like that. If you get a smoothie where you buy it like a package or get it from a place, beware. They have a lot, they want to make it taste good, so they add more sugar. Okay, here
The
is,
surprising one was the Caesar salad.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yep. A lot of sugar. It's amazing what has sugar in it that you think doesn't have sugar. My daughter did a 1 month challenge of no sugar at all. And so whenever I was buying anything, I was like scrutinizing every label. And there were so many things that I didn't realize have sugar in them. It was like I couldn't even buy vegetable broth because it's got sugar in it. It was crazy. So just something to keep in mind. Now, what is the surprising fact about plant-based proteins? They can provide all essential amino acids. They contain fiber, unlike animal proteins, and lentils have more protein per calorie than a steak does. So, what do you think the answer is? And some other people who've taken the quiz said they thought they saw a trend. And the trend is that it's actually,
All of the above.
yeah. So they do provide all of the essential amino acids. Now they're an essential amino acid is one we cannot, that's protein is made up of amino acids and they're, which are the building blocks for our muscle and stuff. And when the essential amino acids we cannot synthesize in our body ourselves, and so we need to get them from food sources. And the other thing I want to say is all plants have proteins. That's where protein starts, is in the plants. And I hope I'm not giving away a secret from later on. All right, true or false? Brown sugar is healthier than white sugar. This one I always get a split on.
I say false.
I think you're right. It is false. It's brown sugar, white sugar, it's all the same. Which food is the most hydrating? Cucumbers, watermelon, celery, or all of the above?
All of the above.
All of the above. You're right. All of them are hydrating for sure. And they all are at 90% or more of hydration. So they have a lot of, they're good foods for hydration. You don't have to do it in water. You do not have to do water. Now, our body needs dairy to get enough calcium. True or false?
False.
That is false. And I just want to say that in countries that have high intake of dairy, they have the highest incidence of osteoporosis, because what happens is that dairy is acidic and it has a pH under 7. 7 is a neutral pH. It's neither acid or alkaline, nor is it's neither acidic or alkaline. And our body wants to be at a pH of around 7 to 8. And dairy is actually acidic, so it's below 7. And what happens is when you have dairy in your bloodstream, it's acidic, so your bones will take the calcium in your bones and put it into your bloodstream to counteract the acid from the dairy. So what happens with dairy is you're actually leaching calcium from your bones because of the fact that it's acidic. So there are definitely better sources of calcium, which we're going to I think that's going to be the next thing. Oh, Gloria, here's one with the hidden sources of added sugar in processed food. So ketchup, yogurt, granola bars, or all of the above. Which of these is a hidden source of added sugar in processed?
I would say all of the above.
All of the above. There's a lot of sugar in ketchup.
Yes.
Very much. And yogurt as well. The flavored yogurts, especially, all of those yogurts in the store most of them have a ton of sugar. And same with granola bars in the store. Just because it's a granola bar doesn't make it healthy. But those companies that are selling granola bars will give all sorts of what I call a health halo, that's what it's called, to make it appear or seem like they're healthy. And I went to where did I go? It was a golf tournament. And at the night, after the ninth hole, it was our lunch break, and they had a little canteen. And that was where it was like, it really was lunchtime. And they had burgers, and they had veggie burgers, but they had nothing that didn't have dairy in it. So there was nothing that I, as a 100% plant-based person, could eat, like a vegan could eat, other than a Cliff Bar. And I was so shocked at how many ingredients are in the Cliff Bar, including a lot of sugar. So they make it look like it's healthy. That's the health halo. So you have to be very careful. So which of these breakfast foods is the healthiest choice? Fruit flavored yogurt with granola, a smoothie with spinach, banana, and chia seeds, a bagel with cream cheese, or cereal with skim milk. And probably you can guess
the smoothie.
That's right. And on Thursday, we're going to talk about smoothies and how we can make our own green smoothies really easy. Okay, which of these has more protein has the most protein per 100 calories? Is it chicken breast, lentils, broccoli, or tofu?
I would guess the lentils.
Yeah, that's a good guess. This one is a real trick question. I kind of see if I remember the answer. It is actually broccoli.
Oh, is it broccoli?
It is,
Oh,
yeah. Broccoli. So plants, that's just to highlight that plants actually do have protein in them. All right. Now, which of these is the worst for your blood sugar? Soda, fruit juice, sports drinks, or iced coffee with flavored syrups? Do, 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 do.
none are very good, but maybe the soda is the worst.
Yeah. And that's what most people guess. That's a very good guess. Believe it or not, it's the fruit juice. It's
Oh,
got,
is it?
yeah, it's got the highest amount of sugar. Now, when I'm having like a juice, like a cold pressed juice, I always have veggies as well as fruit in them, not just the fruit. All right. Which food contains the most hidden salt, which is actually sodium? Potato chips, canned soup, fast food burgers, or white bread. And I think they all contain too much salt. But which do you think contains the most?
Yeah, that's a hard one. Maybe the canned soup.
You are right. It
Okay.
is the canned soup. I know, but he's like what do you call it? Campbell's have been criticized for how much salt they have. And be careful because just because it says it's low sodium or whatever it is, it only means it's lower than the regular. It doesn't mean it's actually low sodium. So be careful. They'll tell you it's low, that they've lowered the sodium, but that doesn't mean they lowered it enough. And actually, my mentor, Nicolette Richer, would say that enough lowering it to zero sodium is the only way to go. All right. True or false is or natural and organic mean the same thing on food labels. True or false? You are right. Natural means nothing. There is no regulations on natural. Organic follows very strict regulations on when you can say something's organic. But natural, anybody can use it to say anything. There's no restrictions on how you use the word natural. So you have to be very careful of that. That's where the health halos can come in. They make it seem better. All right, this one's fun too. Which fast food item has more calories than a Big Mac? A Caesar salad with dressing, a large one, a fruit smoothie made from a fast food chain, a healthy turkey sandwich with mayo, or all of the above.
All of the above.
You are right. It is all of the above. All right. Here's another one. Which vegetable or fruit, and I should say vegetable or fruit, is highest in vitamin C? Is it oranges, bell peppers, kale, or strawberries?
I would say bell peppers.
Yes, good job, Gloria. That's amazing. So yes, it is bell peppers. And I wanted this one to highlight the fact that we all think oranges are like the king of vitamin C. And that is only because of the advertising that is done by the orange producers. So the orange producers got together. They saw a study that said, hey, vitamin C is really good. It helps with all these different health things. And they're like, hey, we have vitamin C in oranges. Let's capitalize on it. And that's why one of the reasons why we have to be very careful, because a lot of our nutrition facts actually come from advertising and not from real studies. All right. Oops, I got to do. And then next, we got two more questions. And then we'll move on. Which is the biggest source of added sugar in the average diet? Ice cream, soft drinks, chocolate bars, or bread?
I would maybe guess the soft drinks.
I think that's what it is. Gloria, I don't remember the answer here. It is,
It
yes.
is. Good.
All right. Woohoo! And that is our quiz. So we're done with that quiz. All right. Great job. But I hope that I really was just trying to get some, just to really highlight some of the nutrition myths that are out there. And we think things, but we're not always sure. And we can be really misled by advertising. And I call that my number 3 public enemy on nutrition and our health is the misled leading facts on nutrition in our education. And a lot of it comes from advertising. So not the best. And so I am going to go back to my presentation now and finish off some ideas on the nutrition. So what are some of the things that we should be watching for in our nutrition? Okay. So here we did our quiz. So let's move on. As I mentioned, my public enemy number 3 is misleading nutritional advice that comes out. There is so many. The word healthy, and I'm eating healthy. Gloria, you mentioned it. Sometimes we're not eating as healthy as we think we are or that we could be. And a lot of foods, processed foods, have these health halos. So be very careful. And also, don't take my word for it. I'm going to tell you it's what I studied and what I believe from the people that I believe. But always try and find out for yourself. You need to draw your own conclusions because part of it is we don't know what the real truth is with a capital T. We just have our truths and the truths that we follow. And nutrition is one when there's lots of different controversial information out there. So just be very careful. My number 2 public enemy is sugar and refined carbs. These are not good for you. You can have sugar, but not, or sweet. You can make things sweet. That's okay, but not with refined sugar. And also, one of my hard ones is the refined carbs, like the white breads, white flour, and all that stuff. And one of mine is pasta. I love pasta. And yeah, so sometimes when you say you don't always eat well, that's one of mine is I go back to my pasta when I'm just not eating well. So that's not the best. And then my public enemy number 1 is dairy. Dairy, as I mentioned, dairy is meant for a cow the milk is meant for a cow to give to their calf, to grow the calf to be able to sustain itself and grow it fast. So it's full of growth hormones and what a baby cow needs to become a full grown cow or a bull, whatever it is. And I mentioned already that our dairy leaches the calcium out of our bones. It's not helping at all. So if I were to say, if you were to ask me what's the one thing I should give up, I would say if you can do it, dairy, but dairy's hard. We have the sugar in the dairy because it has sugars in it. The sugar in the dairy, the lactose, and in cheese, it's addictive. A lot of people are addicted to cheese. I was because it is addictive. It really is. It's like a drug. And so if you're having trouble ditching the cheese, it's because it's like a drug. It's an addiction. And we can look at where you are. We talked about it a little yesterday and where you want to get. You can, even if you're in trouble, thriving troubles, you can get to thriving superhero. And that's the goal that we want is, can we get to thriving superhero so we can live the life that we want and live life on our terms? And I just want to say, I'm not going to talk too much, but here is an interesting fact just for you. this is really for informational purposes, and it's not constituting any medical advice nor intended to diagnose or advise on any medical condition. You should always seek a physician and medical or a qualified health provider if you have any questions, or you, especially around a medical condition. And I want to say, if you are taking medications of any type, you should really consult your physician when you are looking to transition to more whole food, plant-based, because these foods can cause rapid healing, and it can reduce, you could need to reduce your medications, especially for diabetes and or high blood pressure. And this can cause a lot of serious harm if you're not monitoring your glucose levels or your blood pressure closely. And I have seen many case studies where people have been able to get off of their diabetic medications within less than 3 weeks. So it can happen really fast. And then the question is, how does it happen really fast? Here's the plan. Easy, simple. I mentioned it yesterday. Eat real food. Real food is the food that you can see, like the carrot, the pepper, the tomato, the onion, the real food. And mostly plants. Plants are where we get our nutrients. And when we are low in energy, it's because we're low in nutrients. And this week is dedicated to simple ways to boost that nutrient levels in your body. So yesterday was soup, today is a salad. So metabolic nutrition and detox. This is all about looking at the body as a whole. Our body is a super programmed machine. We could never replicate our machine. We don't and really understand it well, because the body will say, hey, our house, maybe my table is messy in the kitchen. Maybe your bathroom is dirty and there's a smoldering fire in your bathroom. The body will deploy the nutrients and the cleaning and all that to the right area, as long as you give it the tools it needs, which is the nutrients. So a metabolic nutrition and detox, we focus on eating real food. We also focus on juicing, which I'm going to talk about on Friday. We have a liver detox, and then there's some supplements, very few, just to boost you so you can get that phoenix rising from the ashes and really get your health back on track. And I want to just say, supplements are just that. They are a supplement. They are not a way to, they cannot help you if your diet is not good. Supplements only help you if you already are eating properly. It's not a substitute for a good diet. What should you eat? Here's some ideas. Have a breakfast, oatmeal, fruit and stewed fruit. We're going to talk about oatmeal tomorrow. And you could have a juice, a homemade juice, not the one you buy in the store, a homemade one. And here's what your plate should look like for your dinner and lunch and dinner. This is based on the metabolic nutrition. Your salad should take up about half your plate. The leafy greens, the other vegetables, they should take up about half your plate. On the other half is where you can have other things. So my plate would have a baked potato, some baked and cooked veggies. You can also take your soup, have a cup or more of soup every day for your meal. And you can also do a juice. The best and easiest way to get nutrients into your bloodstream, the fastest, quickest way, is by juices. And we're going to talk about that more on Friday. And I just want to end this with a quote. The food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. And which do you want it to be for you? That was by Anne Wigmore, who is the founder of the Hippocrates Diet and Health Program. And that is my part. And we have 15 minutes now to make our salad. Okay. So I want to ask if there's any questions that anybody has while I get ready to make my salad. Here, I'm going to put myself down here so you can hopefully see me. Get ready here. Do it this way. All right, we are making a rainbow salad. And why rainbow? Because when I said eat real foods, mostly plants, we want to eat a variety. We want to eat the rainbow. These colors on these vegetables are phytonutrients, and they all represent different antioxidant, different nutrients, and we're talking like vitamins and minerals. And so we want to get a variety. If I only ate peppers, I would only get the nutrients in the peppers. And hey, my onion has different nutrients than my pepper does. And I'm going to make this really simple. We're going to only cut up a couple of things, and we're going to make a really easy dressing. Now, I'm going to give you some recipes this week for some other dressings. And we're going to talk about doing smoothies, and I'm going to talk about other types of dressings on Thursday, because you can make some crazy dressings. Now, you can get out of the habit of buying the dressings at the grocery store. You can buy really good dressings at the grocery store, but a lot of them are not that. They have a lot of processed foods. They have a lot of added ingredients that we don't need, that are not the real foods. So I'm going to show you an easy dressing. So easy to make, really easy. Now, I have a clove of garlic here. I'm going to cut, press it, mash it up, mince it now, and put it in my jar. I'm going to use this mason jar. This is a 1 cup mason jar or 250 mils. I'm going to put my clove of garlic, and this is a big one. Woo! It's going to be lots of garlic. I might not use all of it. I'm doing that now before I make my dressing, because to get the proper nutrients from the garlic, the allanase or the enzymes from the garlic, you need to let it sit for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to do that now. And I just have a garlic press. I'm just going to put garlic in right there. Ooh, it's a pretty powerful one. Might make a double batch. All right. All right, so I've got my garlic. I'm going to put this off to the side because I got lots, and I'm going to let it sit. And I thought, oh, I'm going to put it into my dressing. I can put all my ingredients. It should be okay. No, you need to let it sit for about 10 minutes to get the most out of the enzymes in the garlic. And this is a superpower food, great for cancers and stuff. Now, I'm going to just talk a little bit about knives. This is another tool that is a big tool. So yesterday, our tool that we talked about was mason jars or canning jars. Today, it's knives. You need to have good, sharp knives, and you only need 2. You do not need a whole set. You need a chef's knife like this that I have for chopping, and a paring knife, which is like this one. And I have 2 different sizes of paring knives, but these are the only knives you need, and make sure they're sharp. People think, and I know I did, that if it's too sharp, it's dangerous. It's actually the opposite. A dull knife is more dangerous, because it gives you the opportunity to push hard, slip, and cause damage. But a sharp knife will be good. And my knives, actually, I sharpen them and all that stuff, keep them sharp. So when I go to someone else's house and they got dull knives, it's like, where's my sharp knife? So I'm going to cut up, this is an orange pepper. I'm going to just show you. I go around the 4 chambers of the pepper and I just cut it up by going around the chambers so that I keep the seeds in the center. And I'm just going to cut that around. It doesn't take long to cut up a pepper. And if you don't want to cut things up, that's even too much for you. You can do the other hack that I have or tip is to buy them already cut up. I said to my kids, it's better we buy the stuff cut up than it sits and rots in the fridge because we didn't cut it up, and it's going to cost you more money that way. And all I do is I take these and I just will cut them into strips. I'm only going to do one because I don't want to waste time. And then I'm going to cut opposite way and cube it so that I can put this into my salad. It's going to be one of my beautiful rainbow colors. All right, so that, and you with the chef's knife, hold it like you're shaking a hand. You're going to hold with your thumb and index finger around the blade at the end here, the neck of the blade, and then the rest of it fits. And then you put your tip down. Let me do this. And you just use a rocking motion back and forth. And that's the easiest way to cut. And my dog knows that there's peppers being cut up because he loves to eat peppers. My dogs get raw vegetables with every meal. And then you can put them, I'm just going to put them in a jar, or sorry, in a container. You can use your mason jars to store them in. I have these glass Pyrex containers that I use. And you don't need the whole thing for one salad, but cut the whole thing up and then you've got stuff ready in the fridge that you can just grab and go. The other thing I'm going to cut up, and that's it, is a red onion. So again, I cut up the ends, both ends here, one end and then the other end. So I cut them off. There's lots of ways to do onions, but this is the way that I like. You can also look online and find videos on how to cut onions. Then I cut it in half. So I'm going to cut it in half. Just put one half on this side. And I take off the skin. It's much easier to peel the skin off after you've done that. And so what I do next is I cut around the half moon. I cut into sections. So I just cut it and I try and keep it together so it doesn't fall apart. So I still have my half moon here. I still have my half moon. And now I just cut across the other side of the half moon. And it works really well till you get close to the end. Then it starts falling apart, but mostly it works. That is quick way to cut up an onion. I got my onion now. And so it didn't take me long to cut that up. And now we're going to make a rainbow salad. Now you can add a protein to this. And in my recipe that you'll get, I have chickpeas, but I do not have any chickpeas ready to go for today. But all you need to do is take a can of chickpeas, rinse it, and put it into your jar, and that's it. Away you go. I'm just going to do a couple of, now these are going to be big. These are big. And I'm going to load them starting with what I want on the top of my salad. And then because I'm going to dump it to make it here. All right. You can take, let's say you're going to need salad for 2 or 3 days. You can make your salads. You can do them in a small container. I have this size, whatever size you want. It works. So I'm going to start. I have some tomatoes that I've washed here. You can cut them in half, but I wouldn't cut them in half to store them because they're going to get mushy. But you can, I'm going to just leave them bite size here. So I've got a little bit of red here with my tomatoes. And then I'm going to layer, I've got some carrots. Here's the half. buy shredded carrots. That's it. You don't have to. You can cut them up yourself, but I find this is a tedious thing to do. So if you don't have time, just buy carrots. Shred it up already. Gonna add some to my jar. I'm going to add some other stuff too. Look, I bought all these things that are ready to go. I have some organic coleslaw that I bought. All ready to go. So this is going to give me some red cabbage, some more carrots, a little bit of carrots, and some green cabbage. Just going to add that to my jar. A little bit of that. A little bit of that. And then I could put the rest in another mason jar to store. And then I have some cauliflower. So I'm going to add, so this is a white vegetable. So this is pre-washed and everything ready to go. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it a little bit with my paring knife because I don't want it so big. I want it bite-sized. And I'm going to give the ends to my dogs. I'm going to put it in here because my dogs are already salivating for the. So I'm just going to add a little bit of cauliflower. If you don't like cauliflower, don't add it in. But cauliflower is one of those, it's a white vegetable, and people think that white vegetables don't have the nutrients in them because all the nutrients are in the colors. But cauliflower is very neutral and a very good, a lot of nutrients. And if you're making something like mashed potatoes, add some cauliflower to add a little more nutrients to it. And it also will help change, it can make it more creamy texture as well. And by the way, potatoes are very nutritious. They get a bad rap that they're just a starchy vegetable. They are very nutritious. You should eat a potato every day, whether it's a sweet potato or a russet potato. Go wild with potatoes. So I'm going to add in some of this beautiful orange pepper that I made. I cut. Add that in, a little bit of that. So this could be a salad for maybe your family. You might, maybe whatever. If I were going to work, I might do this. Well, it depends. And now I'm going to add my leafy greens. I always have leafy greens. I'm just going to buy spring mix here. There's 11 or 12 or 15 different kinds of spring lettuce in here. It's all ready to go. You can buy it and make it yourself if you want. And you can add it in. Now, I find that I'm going to rip it up a little bit because I find that the leaves are big. I don't need that big a leaf in I don't really want to be eating like a big mouthful of lettuce. I want it more bite-sized. So I'm going to add lettuce. I also have, for my other one, I think I'll do, I have some broccoli slaw here too that you can add in. So this is another kind of slaw. This is with broccoli stems. So I'm going to add that in here. Add a little bit more of that. I almost forgot about those. Add a little more lettuce. It's 1 o'clock. I hope you're okay. I'm going to go a little late today. We are having fun with our quiz. And add enough lettuce. Add it. Really, let me just do this. And really press down your lettuce. Here we go. Add a little more. I can add my jar, put this in the fridge. You could do up to 3 days of this. Twice a week, just sit and make a few salads and that's it. And you're ready to go. Now, if you want, you can add your dressing on the bottom, but you can also, I prefer to put it separate and add it later. And I'm going to make a very simple vinaigrette for you here. And this is, you could do a balsamic or just a lemon vinaigrette. I'm going to add oil Now I use flax oil. I do not use the olive oil. That's part of the Eat Real to Heal program that I follow. And I'm going to add I have the measurements for you. You don't have to follow them exact, which is like me here. I'm just adding as I go. So I've got the oil, my garlic. I'm going to add a little bit of maple syrup here. And again, you can measure it when you're not sure, but I just free flow here. And I've got apple cider vinegar. I'm going to add in a little bit of that. And then for the last acid part, I can add in either balsamic vinaigrette or lemon juice. You can make your own lemon juice. If you're not, I've got buy it. This one is a pure lemon juice that's not from concentrate. It's a organic that I got at Whole Foods. So this is if you don't have the time to press your lemons, that's a way to do it. Or if you want to have that. And then I'm going to add a little bit of Dijon mustard. And I'm just going to stir that up. And that is a lemon vinaigrette for you. Easy to make. And again, you can do the same thing with the balsamic vinegar. I just need to then put my lid on. Take this out of the fridge, and I've got my salad and my dressing ready to go. And I mentioned I'm going to give you some recipes on Thursday, how you can make some other nutritious dressings. And then I'm ready to serve my salad. I just dump it out here. And this can make a nice salad. Add it there. I have lunch ready for me. Add my dressing. And they always about the dressings. I like my dressing. I like a good amount of it. Some people don't like sauces. My daughter doesn't like it. Put however much you want. This is not about counting calories. It's not about depriving yourself. If you have a salad like this every day, you can add the chickpeas to it as well if you want. You've got this great salad. This is going to be those nutrients that are going to give you the energy you need. And that is it. All right. Any questions? I apologize. We're a little bit over time, a few minutes. But any questions? I'm going to do a little bit. You could add in a little bit of cut up some apple to give it a little sweetness, some little chunks of sweetness. You could put in some cranberries to add sweetness. You can add pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds, whatever, to easy to make salad. Yes, you can absolutely add sprouts or microgreens for added nutrition. Very good. One of my mentors would be telling me right now, sprouts every day. You should have sprouts every day. So yes, you can definitely add that. You could add some sauerkraut to it to have something fermented as well. So those are some good tips, Gloria. Thank you for mentioning that. So I don't know if there's any questions. So this is another way to get more nutrients into your day. Make your mason jars of rainbow salad. That's a pretty big one. I'm going to add some baked potato with it for me. You want something a little bit smaller, just to make half your plate. That one's big, but it will go. I will eat it. That could be for a family, but you could use this size or this size as well. Don't forget to make sure you have enough leafy greens. But so easy. It can take you, 15, 20 minutes to make 3 to 4 jars, and you're ready to go. And when you go to the fridge and say, what am I going to eat? You can say, oh, I'm going to have something with a rainbow salad. So you're getting those nutrients. All right. And I don't see any questions. I want to thank you for coming today. I hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about breakfast. And I told you that oatmeal is a great way to start your day. So we're going to talk about oatmeal tomorrow. So join us tomorrow for more. Again, same time, same place. And thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you and have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you. You as well.